of getting people not to just come one time, but to continually come back over and over again through our elevated level of customer service.
I want to remind everybody here at the Hub, if you're listening, Eric Hauer, Bruno Straka from Stonebridge Golf Course have dropped off these Stonebridge Bridge Bucks, and they go to your next round of golf, to buckets of balls on the range and everything like that. So if you're interested, come on up, and I'll be giving out some of those here over the course of the next 45 minutes. We'll take care of you.
We do have a winner on the trivia question. The answer was
Leslie Nielsen. Remember him from the Police Academy movies? And he's passed, I think. I don't think he's with us anymore, but he was just a terrific comedic actor. So I never heard of these videos, Eric. You came up with the trivia question. So, wow.
It's just Googling it.
You know what I remember putting on an instructional video was you remember the Tim Conway? Was it Dorf?
Dorf on golf.
Dorf on golf.
Also, Steve is on hold. He's got he has a couple of rules questions for Bruno. So let's bring Steve on. Steve, how are you, sir?
Hey, doing great. Appreciate you taking my call. Hey, I'm a shot league volunteer out at the tournament. I'm headed out there right now for the afternoon shift. And yesterday when I was out there, I saw something, a couple different things. One, I was working number 2 green, and there's a trap on the front of the green, and quite a few of the players were going into that trap on their approaches. So coming out, they were throwing a lot of sand up on that green. And one of the guys I was working with said that it was legal for a player to clear that sand off out of his path with his hand, but if he used a hat or a towel or something else, that was a penalty. Is that what's the truth on that? Because the reason I ask is about 3 groups later, another player was using a towel to clear it off. So I looked over at him, and I was waiting on somebody to call for an official or to raise the flag. He never did. So what's the deal on that?
I'd have to check the rule, but I think the PGA or the Royal and Ancient have made a change on that ruling. There was a point in time where it was unallowed to even take your hands to move off that loose impediment, or you could use your hand to move the loose impediment and not sweep it with a hat or a towel. But I think the rule has now been changed. We're allowed to now brush with our hand or brush with another piece in order to clear that away.
But your ball has to be on the green, right?
The ball has to be on the green, right?
Because I think it was Rory McIlroy earlier this year in the tournament overseas. His ball was just off the green, and he brushed some sand out of the way, and he got the penalty.
And he got the penalty, correct.
Because his ball wasn't on the green.
Right.
Okay, that's interesting.
So it would be. I think we would look under. You'd have to look under the rule under loose impediment and while ball on green, and it would clear that up. And I would highly recommend. And there's tons and tons in the rule book, but if you can just pick one up and keep it under your back pocket, your quickest reference is just to look under ball. If you go to ball, basically every answer you want is going to be underneath that section.
Great. And then we had one other thing happen, and I'll hang up and listen. There was a ball, I don't remember the player, but there was a ball that was probably 6 inches or so on the fringe. He was back in the rough, just kind of giving it some practice strokes with his putter, and before he made it up to the ball, you know how the wind was yesterday morning. The wind came up and blew the ball onto the green and about 6 feet closer to the hole. They called for an official. The official came over and basically let him play from where the ball ended up after the wind gust. And I had always thought previous that you had to place the ball back in its general spot if that happened, and you had not addressed yet. So I was just wondering about clarifying that.
All right, thank you very much. We saw Scott Stallings last week on the green where, gosh, who was he playing with? I don't know if he was playing with Zach Johnson or not. Or Tiger Woods. And his ball, that's what it was. And his ball moved. He never approached it, and it went forward about 5 feet. And that's where he played it from.
And that's simply that's allowed. I mean, he did not address the ball, and it was an act of when it's just like your ball. If your ball were on the putting green and you putted it right to the lip, and you're allowed that 30 seconds, I think it is, or 1 minute prior to reaching that ball, and you get a gust of wind and it drops, ball in the hole.
That happened to the guy trying to qualify for the U.S. Open.
What if the gust of wind blows it the other way? Do you have the option of replacing it?
I do not think so. No, you do not.
So you're at the whim of Mother Nature, controlling everything. I'll ask both of you guys this. A rule in golf that you would change if you could.
Rule in golf that I would change.
Is there something that you just go, wow, man, come on. It's archaic. We need to change it.
For the professionals, I would keep anything the same. I think you and I, Greg, we talked about this. For the general and public, I would do away with, just for increasing pace of play, I would do away with the stroke and distance rule as far as out of bounds goes. I would play everything as a lateral hazard. I think going back to the tee for your amateur golfer, just because, I mean, what's the biggest difference between out of bounds woods or hitting one into a lake?
Yeah, the only people that go back to the tee are the ones that got money on they're playing
right.
an asshole here.
So in all essence, I mean, you basically taken a white line or a lateral water hazard, and you've made one more of a penalty than the other, and that's what I would change.
The one other rule I was going to ask you, although I would say for the professionals to do away with the scorecard altogether, the signing of the scorecard, because I don't care if you sign an incorrect scorecard. We know what it is, and so they're not trying to cheat. They just did whatever. But today, I was watching J.B. Holmes play number 12 today. He hits his first ball over near the out-of-bounds stake, very close to out of bounds. Stayed in bounds, but he didn't see the signal from the marshal that he was in bounds. So he hits a provisional ball. What if you're hitting a provisional? What do you just have to declare this is a provisional? How do you go about doing that? You have to declare this is tell your playing partners I am hitting a provisional ball, and that saves everybody from knowing, number one, that you're not admitting to the fact that you know that your ball's out of bounds. You're declaring it a provisional. In the event that the ball is in play, the provisional is no longer a golf in play, and you go to your original ball. You got something you'd like to change, Eric?
I just think it should be the lost ball type scenario, especially with public play. I think we should put a smaller time limit on people to look for their ball. We have people on our course that would spend the majority of their round looking for balls because we have a lot of woods and trees and stuff, and you've got a packed course. You need to have some etiquette and forethought and just limit your amount of time. It's just a golf ball.
All right, couple of things we want to mention for everybody. We do this each and every week. You have the Sports 56 Stroke Saver Clinic every Thursday from 6 to 7, weather permitting. $10 per person. You're going to learn from the best in Bruno Straka. All ages welcome. It's limited to the first 15 people to sign up. So if you want to better your game, give them a call over at Stonebridge at 382-1886. Also got the Sports 56 Stonebridge Special. Two can play 18 holes of golf, $56 after noon, Monday through Friday. Cart and GPS included. Great deal. And you have to listen every Friday because we have the code word. What's the code word for the week?
St. Jude, in honor of this tournament.
St. Jude will get you that 2 for 56, 18 holes again. Great carts with the GPS system. We have the two-man scramble every Wednesday. Still got the two different tee times?
Two different tee times, 3 o'clock and 5:30. It's a 9-hole scramble. The cost is $30. $10 of it goes to the prize fund. We give away 2 free drink tickets for your favorite adult beverage or a fountain drink. And just having a great turnout every week. It's not the same people over and over and over again. But they need to call the pro shop no later than noon on Wednesday. We keep having to turn people away because they just show up thinking there's going to be spots. But with the popularity as this has grown, we have to have a notice up front of who really wants to play.
Stonebridge Golf Club, it's located at 3049 Davies Plantation, just off Highway 64 in Lakeland. You can give them a call to set up a tee time at 901-382-1886. Set up a lesson with Bruno. Check them out on the website at www.stonebridgegolf.com.
I appreciate your plugging us each and every week. And before we go here, I want to take just a moment and let our listeners know that our course superintendent, Casey Nairn, lost his father on Wednesday, tragically. Just very unexpected. His name was Larry Nairn. The service is going to be in Bolivar on Saturday. So from the staff at Stonebridge and Billy Casper Golf, Casey, you and your family, our heart goes out to you.
And from us here at Sports 56, we echo those sentiments. Guys, here, we're just about wrapping up the segment. You're going to go out and sure watch a little bit of golf. Who are you looking forward to going to see?
Zach.
You're going to go see Zach Johnson?
Yeah. Right with him. I want to see him. They say he's a long knocker, and I want to see how he does it.
Well, are you talking about Dustin or Zach? Because Zach is struggling right now, and he was my pick to win the whole thing. I'm very disappointed so far at Zach. But Dustin, there's a bomber who'll be playing this afternoon as well. And, of course, you got Rory McIlroy, Padraig Harrington, and a host of thousands. I mean, you got a great array of talent here, folks, so make sure you get on out here and watch the best in the world. And again, folks, here at the Hub, if you want to pick up some Stonebridge bucks, bridge bucks, we got them for you up here. You'll get a discount on playing golf at Stonebridge Golf Course. Gentlemen, as always, thank you so much. Thanks for coming out with us here today here at Southwind. We appreciate it.
And we'll see you on the tee box.
Absolutely. Eric Howard, the Director of Golf, Bruno Straka, the PGA Pro, joining us here from Stonebridge.